One polite question can open the door to a search you never meant to allow. And once that door opens, closing it gets a whole lot harder. Quick question before we continue. Are you subscribed? Because this channel is all about helping regular gun owners stay informed, stay calm, and stay out of trouble. If you want simple legal updates without the fluff, hit that subscribe button right now. Picture this. You're driving home after work. Maybe you just left the range. Maybe your firearm is locked up and legal. The officer walks up, sounds friendly, and says, "You don't mind if I take a quick look, do you?" Now, most people hear that and think it's not a real legal moment. They think it's just small talk. They think if they say yes, the officer will see everything's fine and they'll be on their way. But here's the part that shocks people. That one little "sure" can wipe out one of your strongest protections in that moment, not because you confessed, not because they had a warrant, not because they proved anything, but because you gave consent. And when you consent, you make their job much easier. So let me break this down for you in plain English. When police ask, "Can I take a look?" they're often not asking because they already have the right to search. Sometimes they do, but many times they're asking because they want your permission. That's the whole game. If you say yes, they may not need probable cause. Probable cause just means facts that would make a reasonable person believe evidence of a crime is there. Consent can do the heavy lifting for them. That's why this question matters so much. Most people think guilty people refuse searches and innocent people agree. But the truth is the opposite. Smart people know their rights. Smart people know a search can turn a simple stop into a long night. Smart people know officers can misunderstand what they find, what they see, or what they think something means. Here's a hypothetical example to explain this. You get stopped for a broken taillight, you've done nothing wrong. The officer is polite. Then comes the question, "Mind if I check your car?" You say yes because you want to seem cooperative. During that search, the officer finds a loose round under a seat from months ago. Then they find a locked case. Then they start asking where you were earlier, whether you were carrying, whether the gun was loaded, whether you crossed a state line, whether you told them immediately. What started as a taillight stop just became a full investigation. And here's what most people get wrong. They think being nice means giving up rights. It does not. You can be respectful and still say no. In fact, that is the sweet spot. Calm, clear, respectful, firm. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The title says 2 words. And yes, there is a short answer you can use. Those 2 words are no, thanks. That works because it is simple. It is polite. It does not sound combative. It does not invite an argument. It does not turn the stop into a debate club. It just closes the door. But wait, there's something even more important. If you want the clearest legal version, add this sentence right after it. I do not consent to any search. That longer line matters because it removes confusion. If the body camera is rolling, and it usually is, that sentence is gold. It shows you were calm. It shows you were clear. It shows the search was not voluntary on your part. And yes, wording matters. Why? Because officers are trained to use soft language. "Can I take a quick look?" Sounds smaller than, "I want to search your vehicle." "Mind if I check?" Sounds casual. Just making sure there's nothing illegal sounds harmless. But the result can be the same. Once you allow the search, you lose the chance to say later, "I never agreed to this." If you're finding this helpful, imagine what you'll learn in my next video about the 5 words that protect you when cops ask about your gun. Subscribe so you don't miss it. So let's get practical. What exactly should you do in that moment? First, keep your hands visible. If you're in a car, keep them on the wheel unless told otherwise. If you are lawfully carrying, follow your state's rules about disclosure. Some states require you to inform. Some do not. This is why you need to know your own state law before the traffic stop ever happens. Second, control your tone. This is huge. The same words can sound safe or aggressive depending on how you say them. You do not want sarcasm. You do not want attitude. You do not want to sound like you're trying to win a fight on the side of the road. You want to sound calm and boring. Say, "No, thanks. I do not consent to any search." That's it. Third, stop talking. This is the mistake that gets people jammed up. They say no, which is good. Then they keep talking, which is bad. They explain where they were. They explain what's in the bag. They explain why there might be ammo in the trunk. They explain why their friend borrowed the truck last week. Every extra sentence is a fresh chance to create suspicion. Let me explain why this matters. Police are allowed to use what they see, smell, and hear. If you start filling the silence, you may hand them facts they did not have 30 seconds earlier, and those facts can be used to justify doing more. So, after you refuse consent, the next helpful question is simple. Am I free to leave? That question does 2 things. It tells you whether this is still a casual encounter or a detention, and it keeps the conversation focused. If the answer is yes, leave calmly. If the answer is no, then stay put and stay quiet. Here's the part nobody talks about enough. Refusing consent does not mean the stop magically ends. An officer may still keep investigating if they already have a legal reason. They may ask more questions. They may call for backup. They may bring a K-9. They may write the ticket first. That does not mean you were wrong to refuse. It means you did the one thing you still controlled. Now, quick legal note. This is educational information, not legal advice. Always consult an attorney for your specific situation. And let's clear up a big myth right now. A refusal to consent by itself does not automatically give police probable cause. In plain English, saying no does not itself prove you did something wrong. But do not confuse that with, they can never search anyway. They still might search if another legal rule applies. That's where people get tripped up. For example, if something illegal is in plain view, that changes things. If they have a warrant, that changes things. If there's a lawful arrest, that can change things. If they have probable cause tied to a vehicle, that can change things too. So your goal is not to give a courtroom speech on the roadside. Your goal is simple. Do not volunteer consent. Do not make their case easier. Here's another hypothetical example. An officer says, if you've got nothing to hide, why not let me look? That line works on a lot of people because nobody wants to look guilty. But remember this. Rights are not only for guilty people. Rights are for careful people. Rights are for people who know that misunderstandings happen. Rights are for people who know that one bad assumption can cost thousands in legal fees. So if you hear that line, do not argue about your innocence. Do not try to prove how cooperative you are. Just repeat, no, thanks. I do not consent to any search. That repetition matters. Calm repetition wins. Long explanations lose. Hey, 73% of people watching right now aren't subscribed. Don't be part of that group. Join the gun owners who come here for clear, no-drama legal education. Click subscribe and stay ahead of the next rule change. Now, let's talk about the part that really scares people. What if you say no and they search anyway? This is where emotions can explode. Your heart starts pounding. You feel disrespected. You want to protest. You want to block the door. You want to reach for your phone. You want to say, you can't do that. And maybe later a judge will agree that the search was bad, but on the roadside is not where you win that fight. Do not physically resist. And let me say that again because it matters. Do not physically resist. Do not pull away. Do not grab the door. Do not step between the officer and your car. Do not touch the officer. Do not reach suddenly toward a firearm, a glove box, or a waistband. That is how a bad stop turns dangerous fast. Instead, do 3 things. First, say clearly, I do not consent to this search. Second, do not interfere. Third, remember what you can. Badge number, patrol car number, time, place. What was said? Whether they asked first, whether you answered clearly. Those details can help your lawyer later. Now, this is where it gets even more important for gun owners. A firearm can make a normal stop feel high stakes for everyone involved, even if you are 100% lawful. The officer may become more alert the moment guns enter the picture. That means your calm matters even more. Your hands matter even more. Your words matter even more. If the officer asks, do you have any weapons in the car? Your answer depends in part on your state law. Some states require immediate disclosure if you are carrying. Others do not. If disclosure is required, follow the law. If it is not required, do not lie. Lying to police is a terrible idea. If you choose to answer, keep it short and calm. But here's what most people get wrong after that question. They think once guns are involved, they have no rights left. That is not true. Gun owners still have Fourth Amendment rights. You do not lose them because there is a lawful firearm in the vehicle. The key issue is whether police have legal authority to search, not whether they are curious. Now, let me break down a few exceptions in plain English. 1, consent. If you say yes, the search may be legal. 2, plain view. If something illegal is sitting out where the officer can plainly see it, that can justify action. 3, search incident to arrest. If you are lawfully arrested, police may be allowed to search parts of your person. 4, probable cause tied to a vehicle. Cars are treated differently from homes in many situations. If police have enough facts to believe evidence is in the vehicle, the rules can allow a search without a warrant. 5, emergencies. If there is an urgent danger, risk of escape, or fear evidence will vanish, that changes things. And here is the crazy part. None of that means you should just give up and consent anyway. It means the opposite. If they already have legal authority, your no will not create it. But if they do not have legal authority, your yes might hand it to them. That is why the safest move is still the same. Do not be rude. Do not be dramatic. Do not lecture. Just refuse consent clearly. This also matters outside traffic stops. Let's say officers knock on your door and ask, mind if we come in for a minute? Same issue. Friendly words, big consequences. Your home gets the strongest protection under the law. Do not casually invite officers inside unless you have decided, very carefully, that you want to. A good line there is, I do not consent to entry or any search. If they have a warrant, ask to see it. If they push past you anyway, do not fight them. State your non-consent and call a lawyer as soon as you can. And please remember your phone. People forget this all the time. Officers may ask, "Can you unlock that for me?" Or, "Mind if I just check your messages?" That is still consent. Do not unlock your phone just because the request sounds casual. Phones can hold years of your life. Once you hand over access, you may be opening far more than you realize. So what is the biggest takeaway? The question, "Can I take a look?" is often not small talk. It is a legal fork in the road. One answer protects your rights, the other gives them away. Laws change fast. Subscribe now so you don't get blindsided by the next update that could affect your rights. So let's wrap this up. If police ask, "Can I take a look?" the simple answer is, "No, thanks." And if you want the clearest version for the record, follow it with, "I do not consent to any search." Then stay calm, keep your hands visible, do not argue, do not resist, and do not talk your way into trouble. If this kind of straight, simple legal breakdown helps you feel more prepared, subscribe right now. Share this with one person who carries, keeps a gun at home, or just needs to know their rights. And one last thing, this video is for general education. It is not personal legal advice. Laws can be different depending on your state and your facts. GitHub